All right, for the past 5 years, 1,800 days, I've let God run my business. In every decision, I've consulted him. In every single rough patch, I went to him to decide what I should do. He's the one that led me to the business that I run today. And he blessed me so abundantly, it's actually hard to understand. I bought my mom a house. We redesigned and put $150K into it, so she has exactly what she wants. I was able to purchase 2 tickets to go heli skiing out in Canada, spend $20K on both my best friends and go and have that experience. I bought my dream truck and I have everything I could ever imagine in my life. Now it's crazy to think about 5 years ago, I didn't have God in my life. I was partying in college. I was completely hopeless. Every door in my life had shut on me and I had no idea where to go. Essentially, I was at rock bottom. And that's when God first spoke to me. Since that day, I built an insurance company with over 700 reps doing 8 figures a year. And it's all thanks to the Lord. So in this video, I want to take you guys from a kid that went to church 12 times from the ages of 0 to 18 to now running a multiple 8-figure a year business with God as my CEO. And all the lessons and the differences that I've learned from me being the CEO and when I let God be the CEO. And you guys are gonna be really surprised at what you see. Before I show you how I let God run my business the last 5 years, I need to take you back before I knew him. It was my freshman year of college, and I remember the very first day I set foot inside of the dorms. All I could think about was when that first rager was gonna happen. My life consisted of this: darties, parties, women, you name it, that's all I was chasing. I got a degree in becoming a degenerate. And through that, I felt numb, depressed, hopeless. And the times that I actually got filled up and felt fulfilled, it all washed away the next morning. And that washing away actually led me to more pain. And the only medication that I had in my life was more booze, more partying, more unfulfilling relationships. It got to this place that was so bad, bro. I got put on probation. And I don't know if you guys have been on probation or not, but this is how it works. Every morning I called a random number and they would tell me if I'm either gonna go do a UA, a urine analysis, or if I'm gonna go and do a breathalyzer and record myself and then send that back to them. I decided right then and there, I was not gonna walk that path anymore. And so I began to get cleaned up and sober. And then somehow I found this book called Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. I'm not plugging this book, but it's a great read. And I started reading it, how the 1% thought, what successful entrepreneurs and top leaders did with their mindsets and tactical advice. And it just grabbed me. And so I started making changes 1% every single day. And I slowly began to build this new identity, this new Wiley Hawkins in myself. And it led me to getting a good job at the cafeteria at my college. I was doing good in school. My relationship with my girlfriend at that time was good. And I liked my job. But as I continued to go down that path, it still left me unfulfilled. And I was thinking to myself, well, is this gonna be the rest of my life, a 9-to-5 world? And you might relate too. You might be in this exact scenario. You're doing good. You're going to the gym. You got a good job. You might have a girl in your life, but you know that you're meant for more. And so that feeling led me to this next story. So I'm sitting down on my couch. My buddy, my roommate, he busts in the door and he's smiling from ear to ear. He's just buzzing off the walls. And I turn and I'm like, dude, like, why are you so excited? He's like, I just made $1,000 in an hour. I said, what? Are you selling dope again? He's like, no, bro, I just sold a life insurance policy. And I was like, what? A life insurance policy? I was like, okay. And so I was like, well, let me give this a shot. I dropped out of school. I started selling life insurance. And the first company that I was with, it really wasn't for me. They had me door knocking. I was driving 3 to 4 hours down to a location. It was bad commission. It was just an unfortunate situation for myself. So I left that first sales job. Then, similar to you guys, I saw all these hustles online: affiliate, drop shipping, starting your own marketing agency. And so that's what I decided to do, was start my own marketing agency. And I remember cold calling blue collar folks and offering them a marketing service. And I made one deal with the plumber named Unfortunately, Hernando never called me back, and I never got him his services, and I never got paid. So I don't know if you'd count that as making a deal. But in my head, I was happy as all get out, like a kid on Christmas. But then I still was left defeated. At this point, I had tried sales, I had tried the online money hustles, and I did decent in both. But it still felt like every single door was slammed. My mom didn't support me because I dropped out of college. My dad was traveling all over the world doing who knows what. I had tried the sales gig. All my friends were going down a different direction in their life. They weren't supporting me, and I was having a hard time supporting myself. And it got me to this place where I just got clean and sober, and every other avenue and outlet that I thought would fill my cup up did not. It was the only time that I decided to get down on my hands and knees, and every door around me was shut, so I looked up. I was like, God, if you are real, give me a billboard sign that says Wiley Hawkins do this. 2 minutes later, I got a phone call from a woman that introduced me to the company that I'm currently with now. When I got started, I met this guy named ETE, and he had this different type of energy, like aura, as people call it. He was just joyful. He was always uplifting. He walked around like nothing could touch him. So I asked him, I said, E, what is it about you that is different? There's something about you. And he goes, it's the fire. It's the fire. I was like, what in the world is that? Is this guy drinking? And he sends me this book. I open it up and it's the Holy Bible. I call him, I'm like, bro, you sent me the wrong book. And he's like, no, my brother. So I began to open up the Bible. And next thing you know, my life begins to change. And that's exactly when I knew that God answered my prayer. Now, what I've learned from God being my CEO is a handful of things. Every time I decide to come up with a game plan, it might work for a period of time, but eventually it crumbles. But when I submit and do a team huddle in the morning with the best CEO, being Jesus, he gives me a plan that's always perfect. Not necessarily perfect in my eyes, but perfect for what he needs done, his will in terms of building the kingdom and helping my business grow into what it is today. Now, I want to take you through all the quick lessons that I've learned with God being my CEO and me being my CEO. So for the first 3.5 to 4 years, I would like to say that I was submitted to the Lord, but unfortunately I wasn't. I was running the show. So let me tell you guys this. I'll be upfront. I did have a ton of success inside of my business. We had more reps getting paid. I started making 20K a month, then 40. Then I hit 6 figures a month. Now I'm in the multiple 6 figures. I got guys making tons of money. But it got me to this place, and I want to share this verse with you. It says, cursed is the man who puts his trust in men, and flesh is his strength. And then it talks about this tree that has a fruit on it. So picture that you're out in the desert. We're out in the wild, in the wilderness right now. And you're obviously in the desert, you need water. You see this tree and you see this fruit. You're expecting the fruit to be plentiful, to have nutrients inside of it, something that will uplift you. So you run towards it. You're doing anything you can to get to that tree and get to that fruit. By the time you pull up, you grab the fruit, you open it up, it's hollow. That was my life, and everything I was chasing in the world was a fruit that looked so plentiful from the outside, but when I opened it up and I actually got there, it was all hollow. And so that's what my business and my life looked like when I chased the world. But ever since completely submitting to the Lord and letting him take the lead, where in the mornings, we do a quick huddle. I go to the Word, I ask God, what do you want me to do in my business? Who are the people that I need to speak to? What is your will and not mine? And what's funny enough is the moment I started doing that, there was more strategic layouts that I saw through the Word that I never saw before. There was more people that for some reason were attracted to what we were doing now compared to in the past. There was more A players that were attracted to my business that walked in the door without me even having to do anything because I was fully submitted to the Lord. He was bringing them to me. Once I submitted fully to God, these are the key lessons that I learned. Number 1, you get to decide how you build a house. In the Word, it says you can build with gold, silver, straw, and hay. Each way you build it, each house is gonna get tested by fire. So when fire hits a house that was built with wood, straw, and hay, what happens to that house? It burns down. When fire hits gold and silver, what happens to that house? It gets more refined, it gets stronger, it can stand the fire. What I was building was a house made out of hay, made out of wood, made out of straw. It was eventually going to crumble. That was lesson number 1. So I began building with God so I could build with silver and gold. Lesson number 2, for lack of vision, the people will perish. I didn't have a clear direction besides making a lot of money, becoming number 1. But that's not actually a North Star worth following. So we changed that goal and we said, how many people can we help and turn them into their best selves in every aspect of their life? Can we help them max out in their faith, in their fitness, in their finances? And through those elements, we started noticing people were making a lot more money. They're in better shape. They had better energy. They had more clarity. With God in their lives, they had peace. They had a different sense of fulfillment, a different sense of strength. In turn, they started making a ton of money too. So I was like, this is epic. Another one, Jesus sends the disciples out in twos. I started noticing I was working on things independently myself. And so instead of doing that, I brought guys in with me and I was like, hey, let's collab on this. Let's do this. We allowed each other to be soundboards. Through that, people got more equity inside of our team. They wanted to help more. They wanted to see us grow more. So that was another quick lesson. The next lesson that I learned was you have to get encumbrances off of people. I want you to picture this. You're running in a race and you have a 30-pound vest on. And then you're running in a race and you don't have a 30-pound vest on. In these two scenarios, which version of you is going to win the race? The one that doesn't have the 30-pound vest on. One of the biggest goals in business is getting bad habits, bad people, bad ideologies out of people's heads because they have an encumbrance that's slowing them down in the race of life and business. Now, don't miss that one. This next one is probably the most important. But if I asked you a question and said, what is your identity? Depending on how you answer is going to determine all the success that you have. My identity for the first 3.5 years was I was a businessman, that I was a salesman, that I was someone that made a lot of money. Now my identity is I'm a servant. And it sounds kind of funny, but the Son of Man did not come down to be served, but to serve. Every time I've found people and decided I'm gonna go and take my cup and fill up their cup, I've just reaped a harvest that I never knew I was gonna be able to see. It says the one that refreshes gets refreshed. Our job every single day is to get out of our heads and ask ourselves, who are the people that I need to serve? How can I lift this person up? How can I correct this person because he's walking in the wrong direction? That's going to hurt his business. That's going to hurt his life. And so ask yourself that question. What's your identity? And every day, are you asking yourself, who in my workplace, in my life, can I lift up? Can I help? And can I correct? And a quick note on that. I've always been a people pleaser. Naturally, I want to be liked. I really do. And what I've realized about myself is I love people, but love doesn't always mean coddling folks. Love doesn't mean always lifting them up. Love can look like taking them and grabbing them by their collar and showing them the path you're walking down, you have to get off this because you're going and you're going to fall off a freaking waterfall over here and we can't have that happen. So get your butt back over here. And so those are the lessons that God's been putting on my heart. And it's funny because you guys might have heard this in self-help books or strategic business videos and whatnot. But everything that these folks are talking about all stem back from the Bible. And so if you're a believer or not, in the beginning of my walk in business, I read Proverbs, I read the Gospels, and I got more advice from the Bible that made me multiple 6, 7, and coming to be 8 figures through this book compared to anything else. Now you might hear this same stuff from different personal developments, from different YouTube videos, but funny enough, every single piece of advice that I've found outside of the Bible is all watered down advice packaged differently. So go and find real wisdom that's going to allow your business to explode. And this isn't a prosperity doctrine. I'm just speaking to you when I fully allowed God to enter my life, how it changed my business. I did have success in the world, but it left me empty. Now I have more success, but I'm always full and I'm able to pour out in abundance and help multiple people on a daily basis because I have a different type of strength. I have a renewed mind. I have a spirit that's stronger than my own. I have living waters that flow through me. And so you have access to the same gift. And so guys, I want to share all this because I've made over $1 million. We have 700 plus reps. Our average rep makes $10,000 a month. We have multiple self-made millionaires. Most of them are under the ages of 21, but the real riches that they have in their life is peace, is they have real fruit of joy, patience, self-control, discipline. They look in the mirror, and if they didn't have that large bank account that they have, they still would be proud of themselves. And that is what All-Star Life Group is all about. And that is what happened when I fully submitted myself to the Lord. So if you guys are in need of an agency and a company that supports you in these aspects of your life, we're right here. We're here to help you, and we're extending our hand out. So guys, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope it helps. And if you guys have questions, you know where to find me, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.